Mark Goldin contributed nothing in 17 years of Jamaica politics, but bingoed in FINSAC by leeching on Jamaica's black people. Apart from him enriching himself, Mark Golding has made no significant contribution in Jamaican politics after so long. If his only achievement is in his own personal gain, why would he contribute anything to our country now? If he comes and achieves again, Jamaica will suffer more. That's simple. Simple mathematics. We don't want sufferation. We want prosperity. When he achieved in FINSAC the last time our country was destroyed. So when he achieves, we suffer. Recently, Andrew Holness government removed taxes from hospitality worker tips, right? So now he's not tipping the taxes or the you call it gratuities that hospitality workers make. And this is allowing these workers to near double their pay. When Andrew Holness achieves success, it is to Jamaicans' growth and our people's benefit. If Markie G comes and achieves his FINSAC again, so he can be a big investor in Bahamas, dagagon niyam Jamaica sopa. In all my research, it only seems like all he came from England to do was seek to pass bills, to compromise documents, to favor his own dealings, and plant ungodly molds to act in his favor from within the government, like comrade molds in the Integrity Commission. Hello, my people. It's Skywalker, and today, since it's necessary, we must take a journey down the rabbit hole. We must open our eyes and take our country seriously. And before you begin to attack me for speculations, take the challenge and see for yourself. As a people, Jamaicans have suffered enough in past histories, and we have nothing more to compromise. So don't compromise. Let's do our due diligence. Be more courageous in your own outlook, because it seems like these wicked demons attack our lifeline as a nation. They will stop when we stop them, or they will stop at nothing. Everything surrounding Mark Golding and the people he surrounds with reeks of shakiness, compromise, ethics, and conflicts of interest. Then, his way to distract you and deflect attention away from his evil doings is by use of reaction formation psychology and very loud and sustained propaganda that could have been deflated if the resistance was resisting and taking the intelligent approach to resist before it got to this. The good thing is that the advantage is still with truth. No judges and leeches farmed against Jamaica shall prosper anymore. Anything that Golding accuses anyone of is what you can near be certain that he is doing, like illicit enrichment. Well, in his case, it might be more immoral or more evil than that done by anyone else, but he will have bills made and the moles in offices to take care of the illicit part before he does the evil act, or at least to cover him up so no one watches him or notices what he's doing. He will be fighting for bills to be passed and fighting to pressure to make them be passed without the proper scrutiny, so that he will be able to disarm opposing parties from rightfully acting when he makes ready on his ungodly moves. So he's disarming people who come to say or do the right thing, because he has molds, and he make up these bills with clauses that he injects, or he knows the clauses before they are made what they are gonna protect him from. then he will ever be doing wrong but still be in a safe zone. He has not declared his own wealth, but he is working with clauses in bills that were already prepared. At the same time, the Prime Minister goes through unfair scrutiny while Comrade Moles in the Integrity Commission, some of them that even work with Golding in FINSAC, discreetly fuel propaganda campaigns against Holness as Golding invests tens of millions of US dollars overseas without scrutiny. Mark Goldin should not take part in crafting any constitution for Jamaicans, and neither should these sick black molds that work on his behalf. Let him go with FINSAC. Let him go with FINSAC blood money. But let that be the last of him being accepted among us. He must go home to London, where he said that he was born. Mark Golding is a tumor. He said he was born in London when he went to Canada or when he went to America. And he said he was born in Jamaica when he comes to Jamaica. Mark Golding is a very mean white man in a country recovering from slavery, trauma. I wonder if you heard what I just said. Mark Golding is a very mean white man in a country recovering from slavery drama. But we have always met this kind in our history. This was always the definition of our enemies, but traitors are 10 times more dangerous. Mark Golding comes to play legal and constitutional chess in order to usurp our government and exploit our people. Mark Golding comes to play legal and constitutional chess in order to usurp our government and exploit our people. He tweaks everything to work for his personal benefit, as he did in order to obtain the FINSAC funds. The man who was there to advise and help make the rules, much like the referee, was the man that would negotiate to win the pie too. What can go so? Make it make sense. How could a plot so obvious be authorized? Because the PNP was in power and the Judases were many, and there were judges turned into grudges, Mr. Pantan. Those same judges are here today, doing the same work as grudges in the Jamaican society. They begrudge, belittle, restrict, and violate to empower their white lord to take control of Jamaica over Jamaicans, their own people. Every bill that Golding puts a stamp on needs scrutiny. Scrutinize him and satellites around him that he will use as molds, like Justice Pantan and Kevin Stevenson. Scrutinize them. They are his satellites. Golding got into the parliament illegally, is there illegally, but his support comes from those that also have too much to lose and don't know it. While Bokramasa Golding has not much to lose, really, the Jamaican people he exploits are not his people. However, the Judases around him might be like a world marvel. How do people sink so low on integrity and still believe in the Integrity Commission created and compromised by the Englishman, a mole in Jamaica's political business, a spoke in the wheels of our independence? Someone has to call it out. Markie G must now gridlock the independence process until they agree to some clause to allow him to sit in parliament and become a British Prime Minister mole for president. Otherwise, he will be out, and rightfully so. Get him out. The traitors around him doesn't care that it literally means to give up our independence. Our Jamaican government might be reluctant to take other routes, using the people, which is right, to authorize a republic without wasting time on being entangled in British laws and British molds operating to disturb our push for full autonomy. By acknowledging the people as the true authority which God intended and which is right, we will get rid of the white chain man and his black houseworking chain gang, including judges that turned into grudges. begrudging our people. No leeches and grudges farmed against Jamaica, land we love, shall prosper anymore. Grudges in the past found ways to ignore this British man's conflict of interest when he leached upon Jamaica to loot by way of FINSAC. Golding achieved humongously at that time. His achievements amounted to weeping, wailing, and the gnashing of teeth on our beautiful island. So we don't want him to achieve here anymore. When Mark Golding succeeds in Jamaica, it is to our detriment. Andrew Holness succeeded with building new hospitals by the efforts of the amazing Christopher Tufton. Jamaica prospered because of his success. He succeeded in lowering the unemployment rate and removing taxes and gratuities. Jamaica is thriving because of these achievements. This is what happens when Andrew Holness achieves. Mark Golding bingoed in here. He achieved tens of millions of US dollars in FINSAC, and his achievement crippled our country and gave us a nightmare on Elm Street experience. A very awful experience from a horrifying Mark Golding achievement. So we can't afford for him to come to our coffers as Prime Minister this time to achieve again. No, Jesus says no. And even more than that, we don't want him to recruit more criminals to sit inside our parliament and become our lawmakers. He threatens to do that. In fact, he has already started. We rebuke him in the name of everything holy. Golding cannot be allowed to succeed in our parliament again. For when he succeeds, we suffer. Let him go home to succeed in London. Let him go succeed in Cayman, where his presence is already bringing down their government. This man rolls like a demon wherever he goes. These same judges that are here now were there then, at the time when he bingoed on us. They are like his little helpers, his little, or you should say little elves, Santa Claus time. Now they are even more conspicuous than back in the days when their evil seemed to hide and they looked good. Like Greg Christie used to look like a much better person than he does today. Like Pantan used to be seen as one of the judges, but now the king of grudges. People even looked up to him like we erroneously looked up to the media, and even the Gleaner seemed kind of special. No, David Banner changes to Hulk, but in this case, Hulk is the villain. Jamaica is in dire straits. Those we trusted were setting out to compromise and sell us out, but not Matalan or Markie G. They were the ones with the horrible ancestral notion that they could buy us all out again. They run to everywhere there is a careless Ethiopian that would sell, even to include maroon slave catchers. Why the devil is history trying to repeat on us? Mark Golding is coming with colonial change, my people, and he is not hiding it. He is not hiding it. It looks like he came here on his queen's, no king's, mission, empowered by a British passport to peg down Jamaica and loot across the Caribbean, and he will take all that he can. Britain has a consistent history of empowering ruthless villains that hurt other countries on behalf of Britain. My people, Britain's claim to be funding some drive against corruption here is actually interfering in our politics and funding Mark Golding. Can't you see this, my people? This is the best Jamaica has been where it comes to corruption. But no country can ever be more corrupt than Britain. The world knows that. They are interfering to help Markie G. The word corruption should never come out of their mouths when they talk about our country. The more you go down the rabbit hole, the more it behoves you to believe that either this man, Markie G, is some kind of a thief by profession, or he is a British colonial agent. One thing that anyone can easily recognize is that Mark Golding has a partial for people of questionable integrity, like judges that turn to grudges, who are sometimes the most dangerous and treasonous characters, like greedy political biased fanatics with government jobs, unrepentant coke dealers, area dons, and the list goes on. Moreover, it is obvious, and Goldin makes no bones about it, that they will be at the top of his leadership team if he ever sets foot in Jamaica's big house. Golding's most telling message to the youth of Jamaica at this time is that glamorous criminality is the way to go. The thing is that when you have the moles everywhere and the entire media backing him, you you wonder who is going to call him out. Mark Golding and his chain gang is comfortable doing the evil, but the people are slowly recognizing. In fact, it's building momentum. People are rising, and salvation for the people will come by the hands of the people, strengthened by God as the source. Notice that everywhere that Golding wrote or passed bills, gave advice, etc., became a pine from where he gained personal benefits, are used as cover points for his immoral deeds. Like FINSAC, for example. The rules of FINSAC he wrote in order to cover himself to take away the money. Golding was there to help and to be fair to the people suffering from the financial crisis. He was to be neutral and fair. So how was he allowed to be the entrepreneur trying to get what these desperate sufferers in crisis had to, while he was the same one making the rules and giving advice to help them regain their own, which he badly wanted, even for free, if possible. He was there to be the referee, and now he was the man who owned one of the team and the biggest goal scorer. As we remember, it turned out with Mark Golding making a huge bingo of tens of billions in US dollars. I said, the white guy you know as Mark Golding, it ended up with him making a huge bingo of tens of millions in US dollars as people hung themselves in desperation. Black men had to hang themselves in desperation, while once again the white man walked away with all the black man had. People, you were gonna sit around and be a part of this again. The system was rigged against them. But the court saw no conflict of interest in the buyer having power and law over the seller. Judases and judges turn to grudges. As we speak, Mark is working on a new conflict of interest scenario to make a British patriotic the Prime Minister of Jamaica, while Jamaica fights to become independent from Britain. What can go so? Huh? What can go so? Mark Golding walks with his colonial chains and the black chain gang to represent Maroons in history, slave catcher, grudges, and leeches. The one thing about black people that history has recorded is that they are the race where their traitors will sell the people without blinking an eye. They will compromise the state and make it become a den of criminals, and then they will believe that it was a good gift to their children. Because no grudges and leeches farmed against Jamaica land we love shall prosper anymore. And because we have seen the wicked and evil plan of the long-seed Cassia Babylon man, because we must now protect our own, because no FINSAC now keep again, because Andrew Holness gave us a great vision of prosperity, and a right there so we they go. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.